Minister actually, from memory, said 15%, and he agreed that it was appalling, which was exactly what the member asked. So I believe her question was answered. But I do ask members to be more reasonable when a member from another party is asking questions. Question number 8, Todd McClay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister for Climate Change Issues, what steps is he taking to ensure the environmental integrity of the New Zealand emissions trading scheme?
The
Speaker.
Honourable Tim Groser.
Mr. Speaker, if we expect our households and our businesses to pay for the costs of an emission trading scheme, it's extremely important that they know it's achieving the effects intended. So today I've announced that I'll begin very short consultations on the environmental integrity of certain types of units for which there are legitimate reasons for concern, and I'm sure that when we finally announce our decisions in a couple of weeks' time, that will help restore confidence in the scheme's trading units.
Todd McClay.
Supplementary. What impact will banning these international units have on the liquidity of the New Zealand ETS?
The Honourable Tim Groser.
Well, given that from memory some 230 million units have been traded during the first commitment period and about a third of them are indeed these units, it may have some impact on liquidity. It may somewhat raise the average price in our register, but I think that's a price worth paying, Mr. Speaker, to maintain the environmental integrity.
Todd McClay.
Thank you to the Minister. How does banning these particular units align with policies of other developed countries?
The Honourable Tim Groser.
It will put us in the same space as the European Union, which will, my understanding, is ban these units from the 1st of January 2013.
Chauvel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, what advice has he or have his colleagues received about the likely effect of last Thursday's decision to quit the Kyoto Protocol on support amongst developing countries for New Zealand's intended bid for a seat on the Security Council?
The Honourable Tim Groser.
I've received no such advice, and I'd be very surprised if I did receive such advice, and so they are completely unrelated matters.
Charles Chauvel.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Charles Chauvel.
Thank you, sir. I seek leave to table a letter from the chair of the Least Developed Countries Group at the UN Climate Change negotiations dated 8 November to President Obama, stressing the importance of the second commitment period to the Kyoto Protocol.
Leave us sort of table that document. Is there any order? Is there any objection? There is no objection.
Supplementary question.
Charles Chauvel, supplementary
Thank you, Mr.
question.
Speaker. Does the Minister agree with his predecessor, Nick Smith, who said on climate policy on the 15th of September last year, Australia is particularly significant. Given the extent that our economies are integrated, the two schemes will be closely aligned. If so, what logical explanation can there be for last Thursday's decision to quit the Kyoto Protocol the same day that Australia affirmed its commitment to that protocol?
The Honourable Tim Groser.
Mr. Speaker, the member is mistaken. We're not quitting the Kyoto Protocol. We are fulfilling our obligations under the Kyoto Protocol, and the reason why it is no longer possible is because the Australian government, the member surely can remember this, has changed its domestic policy completely from having an emissions trading scheme to having a carbon tax. And therefore it is actually impossible for us to align with Australia, at least until 2015, when it may move towards an emission trading scheme.
Question number 9, Jacinda Ardern.
Mr. Speaker, my